I will say the biggest thing that I've learned in both areas, the compound effect of time. Allow time to work for you. If you are, and I had to learn this the hard way early on, but consistent writing of 30 minutes or 1 hour a day over a 2 to 3 week period adds up more than you writing for 3 hours one day and then after that you don't touch it again for 4 or 5 days. So what I had to do is get really consistent and really intentional with setting aside small blocks of time that compounds over time and adds up to the amount of time that's required to get something completed. And that is in my teaching preparation, but that has been very helpful in my research and the way that I prepare for my research. Um, from a research standpoint, I set aside consistent time each day to look at the market to see what's going on, what kind of industry news is coming out, what kind of new academic publications has came out in my area, or something that's related to what I'm doing. So set a time each day to, it's almost kind of like a lit review, but it's both academia and industry publications review. And I mean, just 30 minutes a day, sometimes that can drag on to an hour, depending on how interested it is or how much of a rabbit hole it sends me down. But just setting aside time each day to review. So then by the time I get to writing my introductions, writing my lit review and background on different papers, all of that knowledge I have went through. And I've also documented it. I've saved it. I've used things like Zotero, etc., and really documented what I've read. So then as
Hmm.
I sit down to write, my actual first draft is everything me writing off the top of my head. It's not me writing a little bit, going to find this, going to find that. It's writing and it's me saying, as I'm writing to keep the flow going, cite here. If I know it's from this specific paper, cite from such and such and keep it going. That's one of the biggest things that has been helpful, setting aside time each day to write.
Hmm.
And I read this in a book, a couple books actually, but Destination Dissertation. And in that book, it said to make sure that you separate the writing and the editing process. And I struggled so much early on trying to write the perfect sentence. And then after 2 to 3 drafts, that sentence is completely gone. And I just spent 2 to 3 hours trying to get the perfect sentence. But what that book helped me to do is separate that process of writing and editing. So usually to prevent myself from trying to edit, I'll write either on my laptop or write on a computer where I can either dim or turn off the screen altogether. And I am just writing, just completely writing. I'm not looking at editing anything. I'm not looking at anything like that. It's completely taking my thoughts and putting it on the paper. And then from there, it makes the editing process a lot easier, but it makes the manuscript writing a lot easier because you're getting things on paper faster. So I completely separate those processes. When I set time for writing, that time is for writing. I also set time for editing later. That time is for editing only, not writing. So just finding different tips and tricks like that has been very helpful. Um, Even to a certain extent, just excuse me, even to a certain extent within the writing itself, like I said, when you are writing, focus on writing. Focus on writing. I can't emphasize that enough. If I need to cite something, I don't stop to try to go and find a citation. I put cite such and such, keep it moving. Because I even stress this to my grad students in the world of academia, especially in grad school, but even more so academia altogether, your progress is not measured by how many articles you have read. Your progress is measured by what you put on the paper. So in between meetings of me meeting with my grad students, I tell them, I don't care how bad it sounds, put it on the paper. And from there, you can go back and edit as much as you want. So that's a few things that has been helpful. I have so many tips and tricks. Like I literally have a book that I just write different things down from different people that I get or different types of pieces of information that I get. I just write it down. Um,
Yeah, I've started doing that.
yes.
I am concluding my 3 years of editing for JR,
Yes.
and I started kind of, writing down all the things that I have learned in this role,
Oh, yes.
that I can keep for my own reflection, but
Hmm.
also, if necessary, if the opportunity ever presents itself, then pass it on
Pass it on. Absolutely.
to others. That's great. I was when you were talking about your writing um, strategy, I was thinking
Hmm.
about all the different times that I've actually not followed any of the things that you are talking about. I am a great believer in these writing challenges. I've done two of them
Hmm.
already, and I really am very, very productive during that time. So
Yes.
I did this writing challenge, I think in Jan or Feb. And then I wrote a lot of the paper, and then, I kind of had to look elsewhere and do other things.
Yeah.
Then I
Yeah.
picked the whole thing up last week. I don't remember much. And I was like, oh my God,
It
I have to.
happens.
Yeah, and the thing is, yeah, that
It
thank you so
happens.
much for sharing that. Now